We are in week 18 and we got hard decisions to make. Who are we dropping and who are we keeping? Who are we trading away? We'll find out that and more on today's action packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source for fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Matthew on A. You can find me on X, Twitter, or whatever we call it these days at Matthew_on A. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to click that bell below to subscribe to the channel and give you a notification every time we drop a new episode. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're getting that audio source, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a 5-star rating and review. It really helps out the show. And if you want a little bit more than what we offer in this 30-minute podcast, make sure to check us out on the Insider Track. We'll be able to get all of this exclusive content that you can't get in this 30-minute podcast since we only have 30 minutes a day. Today's episode is brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, let's get into it. I got a great show for you today. Sorry I haven't been here pretty much all week. Little family endeavors, and then they shipped me out to Phoenix. So howdy from Phoenix. And it's been an interesting week. Let's put it and say the less. But let's get into fantasy baseball and start getting into what's going on here. So ultimately, we have some tough decisions, right? I got 10 names today that we got to consider whether we're dropping, whether we're trying to move on via trade because they're too valuable, or are we holding on and kind of just like going to fight with it for another couple of weeks before we really have to cut the dead weight. So let's get into it and kind of go from there, right? So Shane McClanahan is the first name up, starting pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. So he was just starting to make his way back and getting rehab starts. Unfortunately, now we hear his poor little boy Chip is hurt. And now I'm a little disappointed. Look, I've been sitting on him since before the season started. I'm slamming the table. That's how mad I am about this. Okay. I thought he was going to be great. He was hitting 98. His last rehab start, he was barely scratching 90. Now, what do we do? Now we panic. Okay. We're having bicep soreness, not making his next rehab start. This now pushes him back more. He's going to need more rehab starts. He wasn't really eligible till, second week of August anyway, but now that was in 2.5 weeks. Now what? Now we got to wait until September almost. I'm not feeling great. Look, ownership percentage is dropping. People are catching the hint. I don't know if I could stick around. Now, here's the thing. I got some news for you. Yes, in a really shallow league, do what you need to do. Cut that dead weight. See you later. In 10-man, 12-man, anything larger than 8, we gotta make a decision here. How can I get a good trade through before my fantasy league trade deadline? I'm trading Shane McClanahan if I can. I'm going to slide him in that deal, make them wait and clog up an IL spot while I forget about it and think about his itty bitty tiny little bicep that's hurt and let them deal with it because I ain't doing it no more. I'm out. Look, in a lot of leagues, I have him everywhere. It's really, really frustrating. I can't hold on to him. In keeper leagues, which keeper league represents when a league where you don't keep your whole team. That is where you're shipping him off. Make somebody else feel really good about getting him. In dynasty leagues, you're holding on wholeheartedly. Like, I don't care what you have to say, you hold. If you're in first, I'm going to hang on. I will hold on because, I'm sitting pretty. That's the bump I need in September. But if I can't wait and I need to improve my team now, perfect person to move, not drop. The name is really still kicking, even with all the frustration, because the return is this year. So we hope. And keyword is hope. If he doesn't, good, glad he's not on my team anymore. But you need to move him. So move Shane McClanahan immediately. Do not drop. Trade him away. He'll be more valuable to you in a trade than he will be sitting on the waivers where eventually he'll be picked up anyway and stashed. Bottom line. So we're going to move on from Shane McClanahan and his itty bitty little bicep because I'm done. and we're just going to call it a day. Okay. This next guy here is another frustrating one. This is a season long kind of type issue, and that's Mookie Betts of the LA Dodgers, playing like 15 positions, second, short, outfield 15. It's really only 3, but whatever. Look, he has had a rough season entirely. Like, right? Like, this is so not Mookie Betts, so not a first round pick value. Like, it's a complete flop. So, on the season, 59 runs, 11 bombs, 45 ribs, 6 stolen bases, batting 238. The last year's pace, he's kind of on it ish, right? The runs will probably be a little bit better. Ribby's probably about the same, maybe a little bit better. But the power numbers, maybe the same. But stolen base numbers are definitely not on pace. And the batting average is atrocious. Like, what? On top of that, let's get into it, right? You look at the underlying stuff and you go, okay, well, the XWOB is sitting at 317. The expected batting average is 253. Well, yeah, a little bit better. Maybe there's a little bit of positive regression, not much. The expected slug is 404, which is better than what he's posting at 370, but not much. The average exit velocity is at 88.3 miles per hour. And let's look at 2023, last really true elite season where he had 39 home runs. His average exit velocity was at 92.4 miles an hour. He was barreling 12.4% of the time and creating hard contact 48.5% of the time. This year, he's barreling 5.5% of the time, creating hard contact 34% of the time, and the launch angle's even in the toilet. Okay? I'm not thrilled. I hate owning him this year. Like, it sucks. Like, Marcus Semien has been better than him of late. Like, can I buy a home run, a hit, or anything? Because he's batting 174 over the last month. 30 days. Now, yes, take away 3 games for the All-Star game. Still, Mookie Betts done nothing for my fantasy team. Gotta go. Well, no, you can't let him go. You trade him. Bottom line, look, it comes with a little risk too. Don't get me wrong. Now, let's talk. Like, let me stop venting my frustration with Mookie Betts and let's get into it. So, outside of the underlying stats, yes. Let's look at it like respectively. Hey, like, okay, this is Mookie Betts as a whole. Mookie Betts is a first-round talent for a reason. He has that upside, but does it look like he's going to turn it on in the second half? Probably not. So I'm going to trade him. He definitely does not belong on your waiver wires. Like, you can't drop him. He gets dropped, I'm adding him. But he's 99% owned for a reason, right? The only leagues he's probably not owned in is a 4-team league because, yeah, there's no purpose of having him. But not even get me started on those kind of leagues. But anyway, Mookie Betts should be traded. Trade him. I mean, get what you can at this point because I don't think you're going to get the return that you would have got at the beginning of the season with somebody, right? Like, but he's a needle mover. He is an attempt to trade with the team in first, for instance, that has some depth that you can then fill holes in your team and kind of make up for what Mookie Betts hasn't done, so you can make a playoff push. And yeah, maybe it kind of backfires and maybe they end up winning the league because you gave Mookie Betts and you decided to then turn around. But first, you have to make it to the show in order to get in order to say, oh, okay, look, I gave it away, right? Okay, what's Mookie Betts going to do for you if he gets hot in September? If you're not even in the playoffs in September? Nothing. So move Mookie Betts. Like, just get rid of him. You can't drop him, unfortunately. The value is too large. The upside is too large. You get more on that return. But Mookie Betts, I don't see a path forward where he's the Mookie Betts that we're all hoping for. I think that we are crossing a threshold at, age 32, 33, where unfortunately we're at a point where we might be seeing the end of Mookie Betts, a downward turn where he's a good baseball player and no longer really good for fantasy baseball. We've seen a downward turn over the last year and this year. Last year, we only had 19 home runs after having a serious drop-off of 20 home runs, going from 39 home runs to 19. Stolen base numbers last year were pretty consistent, 16, 14, 12, 10, 10, 16, 30. We haven't had those kind of big steal numbers in years, don't get me wrong, but still. But the batting average drop-off, too, at 238 this year after, him hitting 307, 289 ain't bad in terms of, like, you look at his career. But it's just not pretty. But now you follow it up with not only the power dipping, you're looking at the batting average. And yes, last year he got hurt too. Don't get me wrong. I know that too. He didn't play a full season. He only managed to play 116 games out of 162. I get it. But the pace is done. Done. And I just don't see it anymore. I don't. Mookie Betts for me is a move, not a drop, a move. Coming up next, I'm going to move a little bit faster. I have frustration with almost every player on this list today, but I got a whole bunch of names like Teoscar Hernandez, what to do with him, Marcelo Ozuna, and more coming up next. There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of the ballpark food. And if you're looking to go to a last-minute game, GameTime makes getting tickets even easier. With last-minute deals, all-in-one pricing, lowest prices guaranteed, GameTime takes the stress work out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as you get closer to game time, meaning you can score incredible deals. I love doing it. I live in Philly, so like I go down to Xfinity Live and I decide, okay, cool, I'm gonna have a couple beers, and then tickets drop to a good price. Yeah, I'm gonna go get it, and I get it, and I get it with GameTime. It's a sick deal. It's way cheaper than I would have thought it would have been. So it takes the stress work and makes at finding tickets if I want to go in and makes it completely effortless. It's so great, and they show me the best seats available, which is even better. So you can love that. Plus, you know what? Sometimes the deal is a little too good to be true, but at least I get a view from my seat, making sure I'm not sitting behind that pole. And that's what they do. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account and use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Hey, you want a little bit more than what we offer in this 30-minute podcast? Make sure to check us out on the Insider Track. Look, we only get 30 minutes a day, and I can only give you so much of this content, right? Like we're on a time crunch here. But you want a little bit more, we got you, right? You want a little bit of waiver wire action. You want to know who to prioritize. We give you a little bit of the rankings. You want to get some key facts that you should like stats that you should be focusing in on from the episode. We got you. You want prospect call up notifications. We got you. We're going to beat most of your league to the punch. On top of that, if you have questions, you can ask us and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. So make sure to check us out. Links in the description below. It's called Insider Track. Links in the description below. Plus, we're giving you a free 2 weeks when you sign up. So check it out. All right. Let's get back into it. Let's get some baseball. And I got a good thing for you. So we're going to move on like I promised. Teoscar Hernandez, another Dodger, and another guy that I'm a little disappointed in this season. And I'll tell you why. Teoscar started off hot, right? Like he had a really, really good start to the season. No doubt about it. Let me pull that up. Ultimately, it just kind of fell off over the last 2 months, and I'm a little discouraged in a way. Look, April was great. He batted. Oh, of course, things got to move on me. Here we go. April, he batted 310. May, he batted 273, right? And in April, too, he had 9 home runs. Great month. Kicked it off. Was worth the pick, right? Everybody's super happy. 1 home run in May, whatever, but batting 273 with the runs and ribs are a little down too. And, 1 stolen base, not so hot. June, he's batting 189, but 4 home runs and 11 ribs. But that's not getting the job done, especially when you're batting 189 and you struck out 27 times to 7 walks. Like what? Like I'm not happy with that. 11 runs, 11 ribs. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Okay, cool. And then July. You only didn't have 3 games on the schedule. Batting 217. 5 ribs, no home runs, 2 runs, and 2 doubles. Not happy. Now, let's look under the hood. Everything's got to come to fruition. What are we doing? XWOB is at 340. Expected batting average is actually 273 versus the 253 that is actually posting. The expected slug is 480. Which is which is not much better than the slug he's posting now, 449, whatever. Creating hard contact, though, 45% of the time. Barreling 11.9% of the time. Launch angle is still pretty good. Bat speed is good, so I'm not worried about, the age 32 season affecting his bat speed. He is chasing and whiffing and striking out a hell of a lot and forgot how to walk. Legit forgot how to walk. And I'm not talking about, my 1-year-old trying to figure out how to walk. Legit, flat out forgot how to walk. You have 15 walks on the whole season with 79 strikeouts. He's killing you in points leagues, absolutely mutilating you in points leagues. Don't get it. Now, on top of that, you spent a pretty decent price on him. I know Dom and I did. this is a little awkward. Now, I will say this. I'm not dropping him. I'm venting. This is an episode where I get to vent. I get to express my feelings. The average exit velocity is pretty decent. The expected slug, the expected batting average, how often he's trading hard to contact, the barreling, all that stuff is actually a positive sign. Now, obviously, it's not 2024 where things were a little bit better, but I'm not too disappointed. Okay. The average exit velocity is nearly similar. So is the barreling was a little bit better, and so was the hard contact a little bit better. But you look at things and you're like, okay, like this is Teoscar Hernandez. He's just having a down month. And it's not like he's like this great walking guy, because even last year, 53 walks to 188 strikeouts. He just does that. But he can post a 272 batting average on the season. I'm just frustrated because 2 months in a row of this is really rough, but rather now than later. So I'm holding. I'm not trading. I'm holding. I'm sure he's a hot topic for a lot of you guys. Like, oh my God, like this dude is killing me after having such a great month. I think there's better times to come. I just praying that more comes and sooner than later. He might not hit 30 home runs, but he might hit 25 to 27. And I'm still okay with that outcome. It's, not 33, but it's not bad. There's still a chance we could post a 265 batting average. The stolen bases, I mean, yeah, if he hits double digits, great. But the runs and ribs are the thing that's also concerning me. I mean, you look at the season number and he has 58 ribs and 42 runs. That's actually pretty solid. The ribs are better than Mookie Betts. So I'm definitely happy in that standpoint. Trust me. But the runs are a little bit, it could be a little bit better. I hope to see more, but I mean, it's still the same pace as last year. I mean, literally, it's half the season. 84 runs last year, 42 this year. It's half. Same with the ribs. I think that's going to be fine. So I think ultimately, like Teoscar Hernandez is going to be fine for this season. So just hold on, kind of fight through it. Anything, maybe try and go out and acquire him in some leagues, because I think that there's better days to come. It's just one of those things where Teoscar, just you're going to have to be patient with, unfortunately. So let's move on. I think I can sneak one more guy in here, and that's Marcell Ozuna, the outfielder for the Atlanta Braves. More like Mr. Frustration this year. I'm blown away at this season. 37 runs, 13 bombs, 42 ribs, and batting a lovely 235. After having an incredible season in 2024 of 96 runs, 39 bombs, 104 ribbies, and batting 302. What is the difference here? I don't really know. One thing you could always count on Ozuna was power, right? Like he's always just crushed the ball. 2 seasons in a row and 39 home runs and 40 home runs. Over 100 ribs over the last 2 years. And, decent batting average over those 2 seasons, 274 and 302 were great seasons. Now, the batting average is something that's kind of been all over the place. Sometimes you get the awesome, 280 to 300, and then you get the 260, 250 seasons. But you could always count on power, right? 20 some odd home runs, as long as he plays a full season, etc. And the ribbies are there. But especially on this Atlanta team, like you just expect better. The team, I mean, the way Ronald Acuna's playing, I mean, you'd think Ozuna would benefit from it. He's not. He just can't put the bat to the ball. He's batting 155 on the month with 2 home runs and 2 ribs and 3 runs. Like, it's just like, what? Can't buy a hit, bro? Come on. Ozuna just does not look like himself. You look under the hood and you hope there's better days, because the underlying stats say otherwise than what he's posting on the stat board. xWOB is actually 372. Expected batting average is still better at 261. It's a lot better than 235. The expected slug is 476, where he's posting that at 389. So I definitely like that. Average exit velocity is just fine at 91.1 miles an hour. He's barreling 10% of the time, creating hard contact nearly 50% of the time. And he's walking, which is fine. And yeah, he's still striking out. That's just him. But at least he has 64 walks to 90 strikeouts. Like, that's the part that like you can kind of get on board with. Like, hey, there's some positive signs. So for me, this has been rough, but I got to stick it out. The upside is there, and plus I paid off a very high price. Yeah, I'll try to go and acquire him on the super cheap and try and get him slid in on the back of a deal, but ultimately, like, you can't afford to drop him, because I think he will be a difference maker if he can turn it around. This goes on for another couple weeks, though, 3 weeks. I'm out. I'm seeing you later. We'll have this conversation again, but right now I can't. The underlying stats keep telling me otherwise, and sometimes it really doesn't lie. Like, it just is the reality. So I think if anything, there's going to be a corner turned really soon. So I need to have him on my team. I can't drop him. Coming up next, I got a teammate coming up with Marcelo Ozuna, Michael Harris. And if you're new to the show, you'll find out how much I hate this guy coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by GameDay Hue, and there are the perfect design hats. GameDay Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colors for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos. It's smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. I love rocking it. And of course, it's suitable, stylish, and I still rep my team. That pairs perfectly with my usual gear. It doesn't replace my team stuff. It's awesome. It just adds to the lineup worn at my tailgates, my tee times, and just running around running errands. I always get compliments, and it's not just a hat. It also has split shade gloves. They have golf course that's perfect for the golf course. They have perfect gifts for fans who just love everything. Right now, you can get 15% off your code with MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue.com. The code is even stacked on bundle deals. So now it's your time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15. And honestly, I got a few hats. They sent us a few. They're pretty dope. I got the Phillies one because I got a lot of Phillies gear these days, even though I'm a Yankee fan. And it also matches my Giants perfectly. It's a win-win. So Game Day Hue, always coming in clutch. All right, let's get in. Let's round this out. I got to move a little faster because I barely got through names. All right, Michael Harris, Atlanta Braves. This should be quick. We all know I hate Michael Harris, and he is not performing. He's having a terrible, 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 terrible season. And I called this. I'm not surprised. I've heard how many times, oh, with Acuna gone, he's going to do this. No, he's done nothing. 370 bats, 23 runs, 13 doubles, 3 triples, 7 bombs, 46 ribs, 12 stolen bases, and batting a lovely 214. He has 81 strikeouts to 11 walks. What about this sounds great? You overpaid exponentially, and it's not like under the hood is supporting anything. The XWOB is at 294. The expected batter is at 258. Yeah, it's a little bit better, but not much. The expected slug is 393. The average exit velocity, yeah, it's 89 miles an hour, but ain't getting the job done for him. It's 7 home runs, barreling 6% of the time, creating hard contact 40% of the time. Launch angle's completely in the toilet, and he's striking at everything, and he doesn't know how to walk. Michael Harris is a flat-out drop. Just drop him. There's no point of even owning him anymore. Like, he is not inputting value to your team. So just move on. And I can't harp on him for much longer. I think it's self-explanatory. The stat sheet, the online stats, everything just says move on. All right, let's move on as well. Lawrence Butler of the Oakland Athletics playing outfield. He is 93% owned, and he's been rough. He's been having a very up and down year. And season numbers are not what we desire, right? Batting 230 on the season, but the rest of it, I'm not really mad at. So 57 runs, 14 bombs, 41 ribs, 17 stolen bases are actually pretty solid. It's just the batting average is completely in the toilet. The month has been kind of rough with a 171 batting average, but at least he has 6 stolen bases on the month. There's a lot more positives here than negatives. I'm holding on to him. I hope that there's better times to come. Yeah, the underlying stats aren't really great, like at all. Like the XWOB is like a 305. The expected average is 231, so it's kind of on par. Expected slug is 387, which is lower. But the average velocity is sitting at 90, and he's sitting in a AAA park. I like that. He is at least barreling 9% of the time. Hard contact, I wish he would do a little bit more, but 43%, 0.8 at this point isn't atrocious. Like, he isn't a drop for me. He's definitely a hold. There's upside. And I think that, a little bit of a Mr. Fix-It and things like that, plus the minor league park truly helps out. And plus, you're not going to get the value that you want. He doesn't have a name that really inspires, somebody to say, okay, this guy's got real upside. Like, no, you're like a what? Year 2-ish player, year 3 player, that second full season that, had a great full season rookie campaign, in my opinion, and then follows it up with sophomore slump. Like, it's not something that's leaving people desiring to get him. And therefore, like, I'm not moving him. I'd rather have him on my team at this point because he's better than a lot of options on it. And the upside is definitely there. So I'm going to hang on to Lawrence Butler wholeheartedly. Let's move on. Jesus Luzardo of the Philadelphia Phillies starting pitcher has been horrible of late. Like, horrible. Posting a 6.46 ERA with a 1.65 whip over the last month through 23 innings. The only bright side is his strikeouts. His K per inning is well over that. 23 strikeouts at 23 innings, 32 strikeouts. But he's blowing it. And he's looking horrendous. Like, it's frustrating because we saw an incredible first half. And then, as we got into the middle of June, he started falling apart. And I'm really, really, really just blown away at pretty much the crumbling of him, right? Like, you start looking at like in April, he didn't start off hot, but still 4.10 ERA is much. I'm sorry, not 4.10 ERA. I'm reading the wrong part. A 1.73 ERA in April was phenomenal through 36 innings. And then May was a little bit up and down, but he still finished with a 5.63. And it's just kind of been rough because he's been having big blow-up starts, like kind of like Aaron Nolan it, but like he had a lot of brilliant moments, but now it's getting even uglier. He's blowing games left and right. And it's just like, yo, Luzardo, time to go. He's a drop. Just drop him. He's doing nothing for your team except destroying your ERA week in and week out. So just move on. See you later. I can't do it anymore. He's done. So let's move on to let's talk about Jack Flaherty of the Detroit Tigers. He's another one, a guy that we had high expectations for, at least Dom did, not me. That, has a 4.77 ERA on the season through 103 innings with 130 strikeouts with a 1.29 whip. And he's posted a 4.62 ERA over the last month with a 1.54 whip. Now, strikeouts are there, of course, but he is just getting lit up left and right. 9 ERA, 2 good starts, then a 5 ERA, then a 4.5 ERA, then a 30 ERA, then a 13 ERA. Like, dude, what are you doing? It's just constant inconsistency and just things that just aren't looking great from an ownership. And then you look under the hood, and it's also looking bad. Fastball as flat as can be. The breaking ball same, and same with the off speed. It's just like, what the heck? Yeah, his expected ERA is like 3/4 of a run better, but still, it's still 407, 409. Like, no, thank you. He's allowing 90-mile-per-hour average of exit velocity on him, like allowing hard contact. Yes, he's getting whiffs and strikes, but walking guys like crazy, and he's allowing guys to barrel at 11.5% against him, and 44.7% of the time, he's giving hard contact, and he's not even producing ground balls. And the worst part of it all is he pitches in one of the best pitching parks in the league, and he's still doing this. Like, what? And then you look at it, and he's given up 19 home runs this season, and half his games are pitched in Detroit. This is not good. Jack Flaherty is a drop. Maybe you could trade him for the name, but for me, I'm not wasting my time anymore, especially in the shallow leagues. Deep leagues, we're hanging on. We kind of have to, right? Like the 14, 15, 16 AL onlys, yeah, you're stuck. But it is what it is. But and anything lower than that, he's gone. He's off my team. Done. Let's move on. These two are kind of like, I'm actually going to swap it around. I'm going to talk about Jack Cagliogni, the Italian mobster himself. I'm going to play the drop. All right. Enough of this. He has been pissing me off. He's another one. He is super inconsistent. Now, he's having a little bit of rookie blues and not really figuring things out because he has like double down games and then does nothing with it. Cagliogni is a great talent. I think he's going to be fantastic once he figures it out. But unfortunately, the patience level is running thin. In Dynasty Leagues, this is not a conversation. Just moveon.com. But for redrafts and things like that, we need to have a conversation. Like, is he worth really rostering? The average exit velocity is 89.5. Whatever. His expected slug is 465. Expected batting average is definitely better, 261. The xWOB is at 334. Barreling 12.2% of the time, creating hard contact 42.6% of the time, and the bat speed's just fine. Launch angle is flat as can be. And he's just trying to figure it out. That's why he's striking and chasing so much. So if you're sitting in first in the redraft leagues and you want to hold on to him, I don't blame you because the upside of that bat is incredible. I honestly going into the season, I thought he was better than Nick Kurtz, who I had higher in my prospect rankings. Obviously, I really thought Cagliogni was better. Just Nick Kurtz just decided, hey, I'm a monster and I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I think Cagliogni has the same. He got thrusted up for a reason. He was crushing the ball before he got the call. So I think there's still upside, but in a lot of positions, especially in redrafts, you don't have the opportunity to be patient with a guy like him, and it's time to move on. So I might try to move him to a first place team, but he's going to be more of like a slipping. You're not going to get the value. In dynasties, I'm hanging on to him. If I'm in like last place in a keeper league, yeah, I'm probably trying to acquire him or add him and stash him. That's really about it. Other than that, he's a drop pretty much everywhere. In a deep league, maybe you hang on to him if there's no better options for upside, but honestly, I can't deal with it anymore. But yeah, that's really about it. So, guys, please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, do everything you can to share this show because I truly love bringing it to you each and every day. And when you're done, make sure to check out our boy Sully over at Locked On MLB, who puts on great coverage for the real MLB season. And if you want a little bit more than what we offer in this 30-minute podcast, make sure to check us out on the Insider Track. Links in the description below. With that being said, guys, peace out.